everybody. It is the Southern Ontario Dirt Show with Jonathon Howe and Travis Cunningham. Travis, how are you doing, my friend? It's episode 13.
Doing good, Johnny. Yeah, lucky number 13. Hell, that's 3 months and 1 week. Seems like it's flying by. Seems like just yesterday we started doing this. I know I say that every time. I'm sure I'm going to say that at episode 300, but
Yep.
it feels like that.
All right, and who's your 13? If I say 13, who do you think of in Southern Ontario for racing?
Oh, that one's easy. Corey Turner.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
Corey Turner.
I think Corey's the only. Is Corey the only?
Another one I thought of is no, Dan McKay
Oh,
or
right,
whatever in
right.
the
The 13M.
Sportsman. I thought about him, and then Vincent Pagnot. I just thought of that one.
Yes, that's right. And isn't there a 13
Yeah, I don't want.
in mini stocks as well?
I don't want to leave anyone
Oh
out.
man, now you're gonna now I'm
What's that truck?
yeah.
Yeah, the truck.
Dylan Lord.
It's the
Dylan
truck.
Lord runs the 13.
Dylan Lord.
I was mixing him up with Obe because Obe
Jeez,
used
there's
to
a
run
hell
a
of a lot
truck
of
too.
13s.
So
Yeah.
many drivers, so little time. But as soon as you start thinking of numbers, there's more than you think about for Southern
Yeah.
Ontario for racers. Let's get into it right off the hop. Oshweekend. Josh Hansen, who's going to be our guest a little later on, grabs the win in the Cool Kids Core Pack Merchandising 360 Sprint Cars. Wins it over Liam Martin, and Mitch Brown also made the podium. Jacob Dykstra ended up fourth in the 5D, and Mikey Krushka rallies from 11th to get inside the top five.
Yeah, it was a good race. Uh, Nick Sheridan didn't get the results because he wasn't in the top five. He had a little run in with Josh for the lead. There was a hell of a race between those two. And yeah, Josh talked about it in victory lane. But yeah, so he was super fast too. And then Krutschka started, I think, 13th or 11th. What year he said? Yeah, got up top five. And Jacob Dykstra, he's been struggling a little bit at the res. And good to see him top four. Good run for him. Mitch Brown up there too.
Yeah, based on just looking over where everybody started, it kind of seems like the race was passing was at a premium. Like you ended up 12th after starting 14th, so you picked up a couple spots. But for the most part,
Yeah.
it seems like everybody only gained like one or two spots here or there. But obviously Mikey was the big one, but it's still only a gain of 5. Corey Turner gained 7 to finish 6th. But yeah, it was definitely a tight night of racing at Oshweekend for you guys in the 360s.
Yeah, there's just so many good cars there. Like Josh Hansen, he won the feature, and the week before, I believe he finished 12th, and the week before it was like 15th at the Nationals, and he was pulling his hair out, cussing and swearing, and then he parks it in victory lane. There's just that many cars, so it's just tough sledding, and then the track. I don't want to say it was one lane; it was almost perfect. You had to be top three and four, and then the bottom was a little dominant in one and two. That's where I was making my passes, but yeah, I was just stuck in a gaggle of cars, and there's cars everywhere, and tough to go anywhere. Didn't get lapped, so that's cool.
Always a positive, always a plus. Looking at the crate sprints, Lucas Smith brings it home with the win there over Mike Bowman, Eric Gledhill, Jesse Costa, and Brett Stratford, your top 5 in the Strickland's crate sprints.
Yeah, Lucas Smith. Got to get him on here one of these days too. He's a good, cool story. He's got a lot of go kart background and stuff. And yeah, 2 in a row. He did a weird, or not weird, but he did a cool handstand in victory lane. I saw as a celebration. I know he's a big workout nerd. I think he's a CrossFit guy. And yeah, 2 in a row for him. He's always quick at Oshweekend. I don't know if he's ever won anywhere other than Oshweekend, but I know he's got a lot of Oshweekend wins. And yeah, he's super fast there.
Yeah. And we talked about how hard it was to pass in sprint cars, and you look at the Thunder Sox at Oshweekend. Not the case for our winner Ryan Beagle. The big dog gained. He started 17th, brought it home first, wins it over Mark Fawcett. Dave Bailey was third. Christopher Hale ends up fourth, and Ron Logie rounded at the top 5 there. And basically everybody in the top 5, even Mark Fawcett. Fawcett gained 5 spots to finish second. Bailey started 21st, ended up third. Christopher Hale started 19th, ended up 4th. Ron Logie started 14th, ended up 5th. So definitely cream rising to the top in the Hoosier stocks, and no problem passing in that field.
Definitely not, because number one thing about the Hoosier stocks and mini stocks at Ashrican, it's like Maryville, and they do the handicapping. So all those guys are, you're naming off all the fast guys in the division. So they got all the best finishes in the past few weeks. So they have to start the back. And I'm pretty sure they like handicap a lot, like old school Maryville, 18 cars. So if you're,
Yeah,
so that must mean, yeah, or even more. Maybe Bailey maybe didn't even make the handicapping in the heat or something to start that far back. But yeah, handicapping will do that. And that definitely makes awesome racing for the fans with the handicapping, as much as some drivers hate it.
Yeah, I mean Bailey won heat number 3, so
Yeah. So that just
he
must be the
yeah,
handicapping.
they handicapped pretty
They
far
do the
back.
thing like
Yeah,
a fast car heat. So I think all the fast guys
yeah,
are in the third heat as well, something like that. It's like a Flamborough style thing. I don't know if they do that anymore. I know they used to, but I know for sure they handicap. So they handicap a lot. It seems like Bailey starting 21st after winning the heat.
yeah. And rounding out the field, mini stocks, no surprise here. Tyler LaFontaine wins another one. Guy is just in control of the series, just so good, and so smooth wherever he runs. It's probably frustrating, I'm sure, for mini stock fans, probably frustrating for other mini stock drivers, but it's fun to watch a guy who's just that good and having that kind of season. And we had it with Rothwell last year at Merrittville, and now LaFaunacy's picked up the torch for the TMR gang. And uh, if he keeps it up, we're gonna have a mini stock guy on here. We're gonna have to talk to Tyler about just how good this team is and how good that car is. So he wins it over Ryan Hiller, Matt Newell, Wade Thorne, and Mike Serentakos rounding out the top 5 there.
Yeah. So the fantasy definitely always talk about him. I don't know what else to say about him except for he kicks butt. But
We're running out of things to
yeah.
say.
But Matt Newell, another top five. We talked about
Like,
him
what else
last
can
week.
you say?
Who else you say there? There was a bunch of fresh
Yeah.
names we don't usually talk about in there.
Yeah, Serentakos,
Yeah.
good to see him up there inside the top 5 as well. Give a
Wade
shout out
Thorne.
to him.
Does he drive a Burger Barn car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it must be. I haven't
I
gone back
think
and
it
watched the
is.
feed yet,
Me
so I don't
neither.
remember what that car looks like off the top of my head.
I should know. I race there, but mini stocks are parked just for that.
I was gonna say you see the.
Or no, he's probably on the Burger
I was
Barn
gonna say
car.
you see. They're more likely to see the car than
Yeah.
I am. Everybody keeps asking me to come out to Oshweek, I mean, Friday night I was at the Friday night I was coming back from the Honda Indy Fan Fest, but I'm gonna make it out to Oshweek at some point this year.
Pinty's
It's
for sure.
it's a busy schedule for me. Well, yeah, I already worked that one out with work, so because obviously with the Canada Games coming to the Niagara region in Southern Ontario
Same
this
week?
summer, I'm gonna be doing a lot of stuff with that. Yeah,
Oof.
it goes I think from the 9th to the 22nd of August or something like
Oh,
that.
so that's a lot. Okay, yeah.
So
He'll be fine.
uh, I I've got like a full week of work from like the week of August on. Except the only days I was able to get off, I'm making sure I'm not missing the Sprint Car Nationals and I'm not missing the Pinty's 100. So I will be there
Yeah.
for that. I'm looking forward to that. That's a major event. Can't
I
miss
agree
that.
totally. We'll have beef if you don't come to that one.
Yeah. No, I'm already working out the camping
Yeah, we got to
arrangements.
sneak Carl Brown out one of these days. I think it's cool that you say he's a old sprint car fan from back in the day. People that listen to 97.7 know Carl and grew up in BC, and I think he went to
Yeah,
Skagit and
our
stuff.
morning show guy,
Yeah,
Carl.
I think that's cool.
Yeah, he was. I'm gonna stop him. We're gonna have to get him on the podcast one day just for fun, just to talk about some of his sprint car
Yep.
memories, and then get him to nerd out with you about sprint car racing because he's got lots of questions, I'm sure, about it, and keeps saying he's like, "What's a good night to come out? What's a good night for me to come out to the racetrack?" Saturday night would have been a great night for him to come out. I mean, crate sprints at Maryville Speedway, the Action Sprint Tour back in
Yep.
action. That was a great night of racing. I was really impressed with what I saw out of the crate sprints and Mike Bowman in particular.
Yeah, Bowman's definitely got everyone's number right now in the Action Sprint Tour. I think that's two in a row, and he's able to celebrate this one a little more than the last
Mm-hmm.
one. And he's got Dykstra scratching his head a little bit because yeah, he's beat him the last two races. Although the last one Dykstra got in a
Yeah,
mess, but
yeah, and yeah, yeah. No, Dykstra looks good in this one, but he wasn't able to get through the traffic the same way. They both gained about the same amount of spots. Like Mike Bowman started 8th and ended up 1st, and Dykstra started 9th, ended up 2nd. So the gains were the same, but it just felt like Dykstra took a little bit too long to get through
yeah,
traffic, whereas Bowman just I'm trying to remember. I feel like he was already up battling amongst the top 3 within the first couple of laps. Like he made short work of whoever was in front of him. And the real, I don't know if it's a surprise necessarily, but Matthew Bartier, like he had a fantastic run, and if it weren't for a couple of yellows there, I think he would have. I think he probably would have hung on to it because he really jumped out in front of the field pretty quickly and running some fast lines, and then talking to him in Pleasant View victory lane afterwards, he just kind of was like, yeah, Bowman just surprised me and got around the outside while I was running the bottom. So
Yeah, Mike's good on the top at Maryville. That's one of his definitely loves running there.
yeah,
In the modified, I watched him run 100 laps on the top and win the Super Dirt Car Series race a decade ago now. It doesn't, man, I can't believe that's long ago. That's crazy. But anyway, yeah, Bardier's no slouch. I saw him roll into Humberstone. I hadn't really heard of him, but he rolled in like a full transport truck, stacker trailer type deal. And then I saw him run on the track, and yeah, instantly figured out he's no slouch behind the wheel. And no surprise to see him in the top three at Maryville because he's definitely a wheelman, and I've seen him race twice now, I think, and I'm impressed.
yeah. These Quebec guys, like you started with Poirier last year. These Quebec guys, they come
Hmm.
down from La Belle Provence and kick all our butts sometimes.
A lot of Ontarians, yeah, a lot of Ontarians don't realize how big of a religion racing is in Quebec. Like it's straight up insane. Like around here, if you were to charge $60 to get in for a Super Dirt Car Series big block race at Maryville, there would be pandemonium on the internet and people saying, "Oh, I'm not going," and like insane. Like that does not happen in Quebec. They just get their money out and they go and they have fun and like it is straight up madness there.
Yeah.
Like if you've never been to a race in Quebec, I highly recommend getting there because it's just a complete scene. Just you can drink in the pits, like so many things. Even the drivers, you get like little ticks on your hand. I don't know if it's like that before, but it used to be. I think it still is now. Like drivers will get a tick on their hand for one drink, you're allowed two or something.
Nice.
It's yeah, straight up pandemonium.
Oh, well,
Selling beer in the pits.
sounds like a road trip at some point for the Southern Ontario Dirt Show when we get some sponsorship money rolling in,
Yeah,
which you can always email us, Southern Ontario Dirt Show at gmail.com if you want to sponsor the show. At some point, when my schedule is a little less busy, I'm going to start hustling some people. And we're going to sort out some funds so we can really do some fun stuff towards the end. And we've also had some requests for merchandise, so I'm going to start looking into that. Maybe we can launch some Southern Ontario Dirt Show T-shirts and hoodies. Had a few people ask about those at the racetrack, and so I think I got to make that happen.
yeah, we're gonna make that happen for sure. I had one of my friends message me about shirts. I meant to tell you that too. We should talk to him for sure.
We're going to sort this out for
See if he can
sure.
hook us up.
Merch coming at some
Yeah.
point. Speaking of the racetrack, let's get back to Maryville Speedway. Right Choice Auto, Leisure Sportsman, Cody McPherson, really emerging as the dominant driver in the Sportsman now. Give a call to our past guest as well, Adam Leslie. Held at the top five spot most of the night and ended up second. Mitch Dumont third. Give a call to Mitch Dumont. Started on pole. Not a name you typically see inside the top five, but great run for him regardless, and just a really smooth run as well. So I think that was long overdue for Mitch, and I, for one, was glad to see it. Trevor Wright, another consistent run there. He brought it home fourth, and Jay Mallory rounds up the top five in the Sportsman.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Dumont because I was gonna say the same thing. Seems like he finishes like the back half of the top 10 a lot, which is still good, 6 through 10.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot. Like I used to do that a lot in the modified. Like didn't have all that many top fives and stuff. I had some, but like a lot of times it was like 6 through 10th, and which isn't horrible as well. Like definitely better than 15th. So I
Yeah.
definitely know how he feels, and it's good to see him crack the podium for sure. And I love talking about people we don't usually talk about. So yeah, shout out to Mitch Dumont and Trevor Wright again, three top fives in a row. Now he's starting to find some momentum, and Jay Mallory, veteran,
Yep.
scores top five. He hasn't been out that
Yeah.
many top fives this year either, so good to see him up there.
He's had speed. It's just I feel like the car goes away on him. I think that's the story with Jay. It seems like
Yeah,
because he'll either start out a run really strong or he'll close out a race really strong, but it doesn't seem like he's found like a full 25 laps at any point or even a full like 10, 15 run. But sometimes that can be hard too
yeah.
with cautions to string all that together. So Hoosier Stocks, Rob Murray gets back in victory lane once again. Followed by Ryan Beagle, Dave Bailey, Kyle Pellrine, Zach Bleach, and you called it. Rob Murray. Summertime comes and the guy just heats up.
Yep, for sure. I think because the tracks just start to get a little slicker in the summer than they normally are. They are pretty slick usually, but the last couple of weeks had a pretty good cushion at the Ville, and
Mm-hmm.
I love when it gets like that. But yeah, Rob Murray, summertime, always
Yeah,
his
we've
time.
been.
I've seen it 3 weeks in a row now, haven't I?
Yeah, you just keep calling it. I think since that win where he got DQ'd and then he came back, I think it was the very next week or the weekend after and won again. So
Yeah,
uh, yeah, Rob's got it figured out, and I mean, it's going to take a lot to catch Bailey, even if Rob can string together a couple of wins because Bailey's just so consistent. But you never know, right? So I fully
I'm pretty sure
encourage
Rob's a
Rob.
guy that likes wins more, anyways.
Yeah. Oh,
I
for
know that
sure.
for sure.
There's no doubt he is one happy guy when he climbs out in victory lane. There's very few
Yeah.
drivers I see that are happier than Rob Murray to win a race. So um,
The
that's
other thing I was going to say about him is he works better when he's mad. I'm pretty sure.
yeah, he does seem to have
And
that
yeah,
a
the
good
DQ made
drive
him mad,
angry.
and he hasn't stopped winning really after that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he's got it fired up. And then I guess I don't want to say it was a surprise, but a bit of a even a redemption story doesn't quite feel like the right phrase for Jay Moulton's win in the four cylinders. Uh, Comes right back after
No.
a late restart where he gave one away to Tyler LaFontaine, or maybe not even gave it away, just that Tyler got in his head and was able to make the move in the closing two laps there. But Moulton survives a late restart and holds off the best of the best all year long, Tyler LaFontaine, and gets another win at Maryville in the Van Sickle Pet Value PV on lane four cylinders.
Yeah. So can't really call it redeeming himself like he said, because he's already won one and did finish second the week before, right?
Yeah,
So yeah,
exactly.
not like he's
It's a, it.
not like he spun
I
out
like.
leading or anything.
Yeah, exactly. Like he said it in Victory Lane. I don't think the broadcast is up just yet on GeForce TV,
No.
but um, Jay said it in Victory Lane to me when we were talking about it. Is the last time he kind of got and let Tyler get in his head, and he did some mirror driving. This time he just focused on what was in front of him and drove his line, and he knew that if he just hit all of his marks, Tyler wasn't going to be able to get under him. And yeah, it was a perfect way to close out a race for Jay. That was really nice.
Yep, definitely, and yeah, someone other than LaFontaine again, because
Yeah,
so Tyler only got one win on the weekend, and Jay took the one away on Maryville. So
yep,
good to see some parity.
yeah, always. Trevor DeVore also back up in there. So it was Moulton, LaFontaine, DeVore, Austin Werscher again, Mr. Consistency inside that top five, and John Lubeck, another a solid run from the 14L as well.
Yeah, he's been having a great season, Lubeck. The one thing I wanted to mention about DeBoer, he runs a different car last week, and I figured that out. And it has a really cool paint job on it. It's totally the Cold Trickle,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Super Flow, pink front, white back. I love it. Looked cool. I didn't really figure that out that he has the two cars going. No,
Right?
man, that Austrian car is sweet. Yeah,
It's nice, and it's good to see a different kind of throwback. Everybody always pulls either like the Rowdy 51 or the Cole Trickle mellow yellow style paint scheme, but you don't see the pink and white one too often, the Superflow car. So
yeah,
that's
that or
cool to see.
someone should do a Russ Wheeler. I've
Yeah,
never seen that. Yeah, Russ Wheeler
yeah,
needs to be done. Someone do it.
that's got to be done. That's got to be good. That's got to get there. And I'm surprised there's not more Talladega Nights style paint schemes that come through as well.
Yeah, that just was such a joke movie. I've seen some Ricky Bobby ones on enduro cars for sure, like the
I like the
Wonder Bread paint job part of it.
I like the Cougar
And
car.
Bobby
Cougar.
Pierce just did the yeah he did the Cougar car. Bobby Pierce, late model
Yeah,
guy. Yeah,
sponsored by me. Uh,
yeah,
so we've got two big nights of racing, not just racing, but honoring some of the past here at Oshweekend and at Maryville coming up this weekend. The Oshweekend Speedway Wall of Fame. That induction ceremony is happening on Friday night. And our class of 2022 inductees Brad Bacher, Doug Erskine, uh, Corinne Jen, and Bob Monroe.
yeah. All great inductees to the Wall of Fame or Hall of Fame, whatever you want to call it. It's the same thing. And yeah, do they call it the Hall of Fame or Wall of Fame there?
Their Wall of Fame. Oshweekend is still a Wall of Fame.
Yeah, both are Wall of Fame. Yeah, it's same thing. Yeah, but Brad Bacher, I saw him win lots of street stock races. He was one of the original guys around the res on the street stock division, and now his son Devin's living up to the family legacy in the street stocks as well. They're both number three, so it's cool to see Brad get in. I saw his post on Facebook. He's super pumped about it. Devin as
Yeah.
well, so congrats to him. And then Bob Monroe, he's the pit steward, the guy on the microphone. Sprint cars, hot laps, 5 minutes. That's Bob.
You got that
So
voice ingrained in your head.
he, oh yeah, for sure. And he's also been the guy at Flamborough as well for so like that yeah. If you've been to either Flamborough or Ross Weekend, that voice is definitely ingrained in your head, and he definitely deserves a Wall of Fame spot as well. And the Corinne, I don't really know that one. And who is the other one?
And the other one that we haven't talked, Doug Erskine.
Erskine. Yeah, so
Yes.
same thing as Bacher. Used to win all the time in the mini stocks. Like when I would
Yep.
go up there watch ESS back in the early 2000s and stuff. Those are my first trips to Wash Weekend. And he had like a Terry Labonte uh, paint scheme, like the Kellogg's, but not the corn flakes, the frosted flakes one.
Yep.
I
Tony the
forget what that
Tiger.
looked like. Yeah, Tony the Tiger. And
Nice.
yeah, saw him in victory a ton of times. I can't keep track of all the Erskines. There's a ton of them. One
I know,
Lance is
eh?
in crate sprints right now.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
there's
then
been so
Nick, of
many.
course.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a busy time for inductions and busy time for families. Obviously, uh, nostalgia night at Maryville on Saturday night. Bill Spees going in, so that's going to be really special for Donnie and his family. That Bill's going to be inducted into the CAA Niagara Wall of Fame alongside Brian Hollowell, Robert Mouse Young, and Phyllis Mallory receiving the CAA Niagara Dedication to Racing Awards as well. So that's always a special time. I'm always honored when the reunion committee asked me to do the speeches and the inductions to that. Um, Obviously, doing Pete last year was like easily one of the highlights of my career, and in general, just being asked to be a part of such a rich racing history with 71 years at Maryville is a super honor, and I'm looking forward to this induction just the same as all the past ones.
no doubt about it. Longest running dirt track in Ontario, I believe. No doubt about it there, right?
Yeah,
And
for
then it
sure.
might even be short track. I don't know any other tracks that's been longer than that.
Yeah, like a pavement
So,
track, even if you can count pavements.
yeah, but like continuously, like not a single year of shutdown. It has been going since 1952, not 1 year off.
Yep.
Like, because Humberstone is almost the closest, but it had a year off in 2004 or three for sure, and that broke their chain.
Hmm.
But like Maryville has been going since 52, and just that alone is so impressive. It's totally intense. And it looks
Yeah.
like Bill Spieth, or Donnie's dad, that's going in. Like he was around from the original, judging by the picture that they posted. Looks like the spray
Yeah.
bomb on the old school 1940s late model looking thing that they posted.
That's
Yeah,
that's one
I
cool
love
car.
those.
That's wicked.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Doc Hudson stuff.
You're right. It's
Yeah,
yeah, it's just gonna be special. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun for me as well. I'm gonna have Eric Thomas join me in the booth. He's gonna be calling the modified stuff with me on Saturday night. So I'm really looking forward to having ET back up there, and it's it's really cool. Like again, getting to work alongside one of my heroes, some guy that I used to, I would be up as a kid catching Raceline radio, and now standing there beside him, getting to call a race. It's a special night, and hopefully we get to see lots of fans out for that one. And of course, what caps that whole night off is the 50 lap 358 modified Jerry Winger Memorial. So make sure you come on out for that one, race fans. Go out to Oshweekend and honor these legends that are going to be going up on the Wall of Fame this weekend.
yeah, and Brian Hallowell too. I didn't say nothing about him, and he was just before my time, and he was more of a pro stock guy back in the day. I know that, and that's like a division that cut out just before I started. Like I think there was 1 year of it that cut out in like 2003 and four, and it's still going lots of tracks, and it was a cool division. But it was almost street stocks with more like a pavement late model kind of style body on it. But they just
Mm-hmm.
kind of priced themselves out of the way around here. And they used to be at Ransomville for a long time as well, longer than there. Well, they're just an old cool division, and I think that's the second Hallowell to go in the Wall of Fame. Could be wrong.
I don't remember. I'm like,
Definitely
there's a lot
a
of
rich
names. There's a lot of
family at
history.
Merrittville. I think,
Yeah.
pretty sure there's two Hallowells in the Wall of Fame
Well,
after
we're
Saturday.
gonna. I was gonna say we'll find out on Saturday as I go over the notes. I'm sure it's in the speeches. I just haven't memorized the speeches just yet, so and I'm sure I'll
Yeah.
have that under my on top of my brain at some point. Just checking in. We got Super Dirt Car Series coming up on Sunday night.
Yep. Weedsport. And You mentioned Derek Thomas as well. Like he used to do a lot of the Super Dirt Car Series races back in the day on Speed Vision and Empire Sports Network. He was on Rush Hour on Dirt a lot, like those broadcasts. And yeah, so there's so much more than just Raceline Radio with Eric. And so yeah,
Oh yeah,
they used to do a lot of broadcasts at Weedsport, and that's where they're headed Sunday. That's the headquarters of Dirt Car. For people that don't know, like Dirt Car headquarters is right on the same property, more closer to the road. It's in Weedsport, New York, and they've upgraded the place. It's almost as crazy nice as last weekend nowadays. So always puts on great racing, and it's definitely the home of the dirt modifieds. One of them.
yeah, it's good stuff. Turning our attention to the points in Super Dirt Car Series. Our local boy Matt Williamson currently sits second, 32 points off of Matt Shepard. Um, and Stewie, we've talked about him. He's going to have to miss more than a few races, I'm sure, coming up with the NASCAR Truck Series schedule. But he still sits eighth and has a win this year, so you never know. Maybe he'll just rack up a few more wins just for fun.
Uh, yeah, there's one other thing with the Super Dirt Car Series. I could be wrong on this too, but like I'm pretty sure because he isn't signed up as like a platinum driver, he's technically not allowed to win the points.
Yeah, that's the other thing,
I'm
right?
pretty sure. Yeah,
Which is funny because they still
but
score him on the points sheet.
yeah, he wouldn't get any money.
Yeah.
Bit of a bummer there.
Yeah,
But like
bummer.
Stewie's never really run the full Super Dirt Car Series. It's the only thing he's never really won on the dirt modified side of things. I mean, you were talking about that off air.
Yep.
He's won everything else, Super Dirt Week 5 times or whatever it is, but he's just never been able to run the full thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to say maybe one day, but then I also like seeing him in the trucks too. So I don't necessarily want
Yeah, that
that to
Craftsman
stop
truck
anytime
ride,
soon,
I can't see that going away.
right?
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good ride, and he's always a threat in that series to make the championship for. And speaking of NASCAR and NASCAR drivers, I think we want to touch on the announcement last week from Kyle Larson and Brad Sweet that they're launching a midweek sprint car series. Um, and that's going to run throughout the summer. It's going to be a 12 midweek sprint car race schedule, headlined, of course, by Larson and some of the largest names in the business in terms of uh, sprint cars. So, looking forward to that, seeing what comes out of that. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, so they're going to start next year, and they already said it's not going to conflict with the Outlaws and All Stars. And the only
Mm-hmm.
thing is, if the Outlaws is going to let them run, because they got some little clause that if they race at a track that's not Outlaw, you're not allowed to run or something like that. So hopefully the World of Outlaws let the
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
run,
that's
and
another Plattman.
yeah, they're just trying to get
Yep.
more money into the sport, which is awesome. Like the late model, because Kyle's sponsored by Flow Racing, obviously, on the dirt side of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's like the late model thing that's been working really well for them. The Flow Racing Night in America. It's just basically going to be another kind
Yep.
of style thing like that, but for the sprint cars and get them guys a little extra money during the week. Because I've noticed, I'm watching Port Royal World of Outlaws right now, but this is one of the first weekday shows other than last week at Eldora that I've seen in a while. So definitely good to see
Mm-hmm.
midweek shows start to pop up again because I love watching them when I'm working on the car in the shop.
Yeah, yeah, it's good. And like I said, the money is good. Like two of the events are going to pay 50,000 to win, 140,000 in overall prize money on those days. The other 10 events are going to be 23,000 to win, 80,000 overall, and there's going to be a year-end championship fund totaling 120,000. So, good opportunity. We've had guys like Dylan Westbrook on the show in the past. Do you think we're going to see any of our local guys? Is there any going to be any Canadians you think that end up as part of that series?
Westbrook maybe could run some of them. I don't know where they're going to run if they run close to around here, like go to an Ohio track or something. I can see that for sure because that's kind of close for Dill and stuff. He seems to be. He hasn't been running most of the AS. He hasn't been running any ASCS tour races lately. So he was at Eldora last weekend for all their big festivities. Went to Knoxville for the
Mm-hmm.
Outlaws. So I'm definitely seeing him run more 410 races these days. So it's definitely possible.
Yeah, I think that's the guy to watch to see if maybe he's a part of it, especially if he doesn't commit to one in particular, one series or one tour, and just wants to kind of bounce around. I think that's the perfect spot for a guy like Dylan to really show off his talents and put Ontario on the map in the sprint car world down there, like he has
Yeah,
been.
for sure. If I had my way, I'd see him on the All Star Circuit of Champions. That's where I think D Dubs needs to be right now, and I definitely think he's got the talent for it to
Yeah,
contend for a top five, top 10 for sure in points, and maybe even a top five. He's got a second place finish at East Bay with him, and if he ran All Stars, he'd be able to run that other series for sure. So, and I just have no idea where they're going to go to the races.
yeah,
That's the only thing about the new series, where it's going to be
yeah.
located.
No schedule announcement that I've
No.
seen yet, but I'm sure we'll see. I'm sure we'll get those details sooner rather than later, and hopefully it's close enough for some of our guys to make the trip out. And speaking of our guys in the sprint car world, we got Josh Hansen coming up on the show, so let's get going with that interview. Hey, do you like what you're hearing? Want to support the Southern Ontario Dirt Show and help us expand our coverage across the province and Western New York? Well, your ad could be playing right here. Got a brand or business that deserves more attention? Email us, southernontariodirtshow@gmail.com, to become a sponsor of the podcast. And now, let's get back to the show. All right, we're back on the Southern Ontario Dirt Show with Jonathon and Travis Cunningham, joined by driver of the 88H, Josh Hansen. Welcome to the show, Josh.
Awesome. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be on here. It's my first podcast, so let's see how it goes.
Well, you're coming off a big win at Oshweekend, so tell us about getting back in victory lane on Friday night.
It's a dream come true. Absolute dream come true. Didn't think it was going to happen this early in the season, but me and the team, we just kept working away at it, and it was an awesome race.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So you started third, got the lead coming off too. You had Glenn in front of you. I forget who was on the outside pole, but you cleared them both. So just tell us about that first lap there and getting the lead.
Well, Glenn's, he's a high side flyer, so I knew he was going to go straight to the top if he could. So
Yeah.
and then under the caution laps before the race, the bottom of 1 and 2 looked really good. So I knew he was going to try and take off to the top. So I just rolled the bottom through 1 and 2 and came out of 2 up front.
Nice. So, Josh, you just turned 20 years old, and you're really, early on into your career here, and kind of a sensation. Like you already got a sprint car or a sprint tour, action sprint tour championship under your belt. But just tell us about where it all began and your path up to sprint car racing.
I had all started at Maryville in the go-karts. When I was about 4 or 5 years old, my dad took me on a Tuesday night, and when we first got there, I saw the seniors going out, and at first I was like, "That's a little too fast." I wasn't too sure if I wanted to do that, but then I saw the junior kids come out, and I was like, "Oh, I think I could try that," and then it just exploded from there.
So yeah, Josh, I know you got a long career in sprint cars, not just or go karts, sorry, not just Merrittville. Let's talk about first your big win in Florida.
Yeah, what year was that? 2012. Decided to go down to Daytona Beach for Christmas, and then in between Christmas and New Year's, they had their the race there right on the sand, which was cool. Never raced on sand before, and I think I started. I think it was 17th or 18th. There was like over 45 carts in the class, and made the main, but started like 17th or 18th, and I think I was in the lead after a lap like 8 or 9. We had it dialed in. Had the old goat and Creo prep going with the torch, trying to make the tires as soft as possible to try and get the grip.
So yeah, it was a super big win for you there, Josh, in Daytona. Just talk like we want to try to describe to the people how big of an event it is. Like you got to roll down, you almost got to sacrifice your Christmas to go for one, because it's like right after Christmas. Like you said, it's like the 26th through New Year's almost. And then let's talk about the track. You just talked about the surface, how it was like the seashells or whatever, but like it's like a little dirt track outside Daytona International Speedway, right?
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it's just on the outskirts, right on the outside of 3 and 4. Like right as uh, right as the outside wall goes around, they got the hill that comes down obviously against the banking, and then the track's right there, the flat track. It's actually a pretty big track for a go kart. It's definitely a lot bigger than Merrittville or Ransomville, any of the kart tracks around here. But It's all sand. It's sand, sand, sand. So the year that I went, I know they had about 800 carts across all the classes, and we just kept working it in. I think it was a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and by the time Saturday came around, it was like finally almost starting to take rubber after 800 carts raced on it for 3 straight days and had so many laps around that place. But they on Thursday they put the hay bales way far out, so we start basically almost in the middle, and as the weekend progresses, they move the hay bales in and in, so they make three, four, 5 lanes of racing in the carts, but it was still slick, 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 slick when they're. But it almost turns like a blue, not a black. It's a cool color. It's almost hard to explain.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear that story from there because yeah, a lot of people haven't been there, and it's one of the biggest go kart races there is for the WQA on the dirt side.
Yeah, it was awesome. Like we didn't really we didn't know a whole lot about Maxis and the tire rules and all that stuff down there, and ended up we didn't even I didn't even have Creo like Creosol at the time. That was a big prep thing in go karts, and we ended up buying some off of Donnie Knoll, he big name down there, and started getting that all set up, and it was like goat and putting all these preps together, and it just smelled so bad, and putting the torch in, getting these tires try to punch like zero on the durometer, and but it was awesome. It was definitely one I won't forget.
Yeah, it's good explanation, especially with the tires.
So, Josh, you're a 2019 Action Sprint Tour champion. Just talk to us the transition from racing in crate sprints and being a champion there up into the 360 series.
Definitely a lot harder competition. Like especially this year at Oswego, anybody in that field can win on a Friday night. There's so many good guys. There's no good heat race and bad heat race. Everyone is so fast and it's so competitive. And it was competitive in the crate series as well, but in the crate series, I just had such good luck with, pillow draw and getting good redraws. Yeah, it was just it's such a competitive class every Friday night in the 360s this year. Just the competition just keeps getting better and better. So, the difference between the crate and the 360 and the 360, you got to be on your A game every single night, night after night, and you got to make sure you do every little thing you can to be faster every single week.
Yeah, the one thing I mentioned earlier when we were doing our weekly recap is how you were like, I think 12th the week before and 15th the week before that. And I know you were frustrated. I was talking to you afterwards. We park right next to each other pretty much. So just talk about how you got to keep your head in the game like that, even when you do rip off a couple of bad nights in a row. And then you didn't even bother finishing ninth or fifth. You went right to the win. So talk about how to keep your head in the game like that.
Yeah, you just can't give up. Like we had two straight fourth place finishes. Everything was going good, and then the nationals came around, and I just missed it that week. I just did not have a good week, and then the very next week, same thing. I struggled, and it's just like you can't overthink it, but just you just gotta keep your head in the game. Just I know I have a fast car week in week out. I just got to keep making the right adjustments, and even some weeks you're not going to be first place every week. Like like you gotta expect to have your down days, but you can't let that get the best of you. You just gotta keep working away and realize what you did wrong or the mistakes that you made to the car, and correct it from there, and not change too many things. Like the car was super solid, and then we went backwards at the nationals and almost backwards again the following week, and I didn't change too much from when we were finishing fourth. I knew I was making little adjustments, but you just gotta keep your head in it and just keep plugging away and not get too upset about it.
All right, Josh, we'll get you out of here on this one. It's our classic question. It's the Corey LaJoy Memorial question we stole from the Stack and Pennies podcast, but it works way better for dirt racers. And the question is, if you can pick any kind of race car anywhere in the world to race it, so you get one car, one track to race the rest of your life, what are you picking?
Oh, that's a good one. I think I'm definitely gonna have to go probably 410s at Port Royal. I'd love to have the cojones of Anthony Macri to try and fly around the top and right around the wall like he does there. Uh, that takes some definitely takes some fearless driving, and I don't know if I'm there yet if I could do it like him, but that'd definitely be a dream.
I was gonna say it's a good, and it's not the craziest thing in the world. I mean, you're only 20 years old. You got a long career ahead of you, Josh. So you never know where things are gonna take you.
I hopefully if all things go well, it'd be hard to leave the company business and go down to the States, but dreams sometimes can come true. Like I'm a 360 sprint car winner last weekend, so that's a big dream right there. And told me that if you told me that back in my kart days, 6, 7 years ago, I'd just laugh again. I'd laugh again and tell you, that's a good joke.
Awesome. Well, thanks for taking the time tonight, Josh. We'll let you get back at it, and good luck the rest of the season, and keep up the grid success.
Thanks, Josh.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Cheers, eh?
Bye.
Hey, do you like what you're hearing? Want to support the Southern Ontario Dirt Show and help us expand our coverage across the province and Western New York? Well, your ad could be playing right here. Got a brand or business that deserves more attention? Email us, southernontariodirtshow@gmail.com, to become a sponsor of the podcast. And now, let's get back to the show. And we're back at that was Josh Hansen on the Southern Ontario Dirt Show. Battled through a little bit of technical difficulties. We really appreciate Josh still taking the time and fighting through that for us. So, I think he was working on. I think he was on the clock that night too. So, really appreciate Josh for taking the time. And I like that he's got dreams. And at 20 years old, you never know where Josh is going to go because there's no question the kid's got talent.
Yeah, for sure. He told me he was on a tow truck call. I think he said something to do with a police call before he did, so he was definitely on his phone in his truck. So we definitely didn't get to all the questions we wanted to ask Josh, and I just wanted to sign on here after and say that because I know Andy Bobandy, we were talking, and we had a couple more questions for him. But he's young, he's been winning lots more races, and I guarantee we'll be having him again.
For sure. And in the meantime, this is a good reminder. If you've got a question for us, you can send it on over to Southern Ontario Dirt Show at gmail.com is the best place to send a question. And we'll probably do some Instagram stuff. I know as I was road tripping to and from the Honda Indy in Toronto, I was taking some questions over on Instagram at Southern Ontario Dirt Show. And I got some. I got the beef wanting me to jump in the BRP iRacing League, so that might be a goal for the fall.
Yeah, for sure, I'm joining it, and Tyler, who works the front desk at Bicknell's, and the Beefer, Corby Daniels, and Travis Miller, and a bunch of the guys at Merrittville that help out on the Ryan Susie car. And Beef works on Williamson's car, and he works for Mike Bowman. And like I say, Tyler runs the front desk at BRP, and they got a whole bunch, so many other guys run it too. I think Ryan Susie runs it for sure. And it's just, so it's fixed setups, so you don't got to worry about crazy setups and all that. So it's just easy to fun log in through the winter and get some racing fix. Although I suck at the dirt mods on iRacing. I'm better at the sprint cars, but I'm gonna have to work on it because I'm joining for sure.
And I think I've driven a total of maybe 20 minutes on iRacing at a buddy's house, so I'm sure I will be right there at the back of the pack with you. And who knows? Maybe by then we'll launch like a Twitch stream or something. We'll start streaming some of those races as well for the
I
Southern
think that
Ontario
does
Dirt
have
Show
some sort
Instagram and
of
stuff,
live thing. Yeah,
right? Okay, so that's we're
the
definitely
BRP
gonna have
series
to
does. Yeah,
make sure we get some clips posted up of our awesome virtual skills. All right,
yeah,
that's going to do it for the show. Thanks for following along again. Southern Ontario Dirt Show at gmail.com is where you find us on the email side of things, at SODS_pod on Twitter and Instagram, and at Southern Ontario Dirt Show is where you find us on Facebook. Follow us along, give us a like, give us a tweet, and connect with us. And we got some busy nights coming up with the Wall of Fame inductions at Osh Weekend in Merrittville, and probably going to grab some interviews too on Saturday night at Merrittville between the two of us showing up at the racetrack. So let's see what we can pull off.
yep. Can't wait. Definitely want to. We got to get Dave Bailey on the show soon. Definitely before his NASCAR Pinty Series thing. I think that's where we're gonna grab Saturday, and
Definitely.
yeah, I'll see you there. Can't wait. It's also autograph night at Osh Weekend. It's Wall of Fame and autograph night, and I'm gonna have hero cards, and also I have a ton of like manufacturer stickers because we haven't had an autograph night in 3 years almost. So that's what my thing is. So if you want some cool manufacturer stickers, come on over to the 90, and we got you covered there. Two per customer because some of the dads get a little carried away and start grabbing handfuls.
Awesome. All right, Travis, have a good weekend. Good luck racing, and we'll catch up in person at Maryville. And thanks everybody for listening to the show.
Thanks, Johnny. See ya.
And the checkered is out on another episode of the Southern Ontario Dirt Show. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe for future episodes. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Southern Ontario Dirt Show. Have a question for the show? Email us, southernontariodirtshow@gmail.com. Thanks for supporting local racing in Southern Ontario, and we'll see you at the track.